Barakatah YAHAWASHI, Barakatah Yahawah, Barakatah Yahawah, Barakatah YAHAWASHI.
Shalom, giving all praises, honor, and glory to Yahawah, Bahashem, Yahawashai, Bahashem, Racha HaKodash. Double honor to the apostles of Great Millstone, who learned the truth of the gospel of Yahawashai from, and peace, love, and salutations to the house of David, which is the elect, the men, women, and children that are predestined to receive salvation and to be the first fruits of the kingdom of heaven, which is the kingdom of Israel. So this is going to be, another, installation of news and prophecy. Okay, just going into, the things that are happening in the world. All right, with everything that's going on with the, vaccination. All right, and Esau coming down with more and more tyrannical pressure in order to get, the populace, and specifically you Israelites, to get that juice. Okay, and we see that they're moving, quickly. Well, we should say that the Most High, Bahashem Yahawashi has, Esau moving quickly with his agenda, all right, toward that NWO, because, he knows he has but a short time, and this devil's, his desire is to have, complete and total power over, the world. All right, even though the earth is given into his hands at this moment, he doesn't control, the minds of the people. He doesn't control the will of, the specifically the elect. But you have even a lot of people that are not even, Israelites, that are, coming up against this devil and his schemes and his devices. So what we have here, this is coming from Lisa Haven. This is a quick clip. I'm not going to play the whole thing, but I just want to, play, the couple of clips that she played in this video, and tie it into other articles that I have, to bring out some more edification on, what this devil really is doing and why these moves that is being made, really throughout the world. All right, this beast system is all happening. It's ultimately because, he wants to receive that blessing that was given to the children of Jacob, all right, the children of Israel, which is this blessing which you read right here in the book of Revelation 2, verse 26. It says, this is a red letter, Yahawashi says, "And he that overcometh and keepeth my works unto the end, to him will I give power over the nations." Okay, and this is a blessing exclusively that's going to be given unto the first fruits of the kingdom of heaven, which is the kingdom of Israel. They're going to have power over the nations. And when you go into that word power, it goes into the Greek word exousia right here, which says power of choice, liberty of doing as one pleases. And this is what this whole cohesive tactics and this speech narrative about mandating people to take that juice is really because Esau is trying to get rid of their power of choice. All right, he wants that ultimate physical and mental power over people, and not knowing exactly what taking that juice and injecting it into your system, what side effects and long-term effects it could have, but scripture tells us that we are not ignorant of Satan's devices, and we know ultimately what he really desires. Okay, he desires to be the gods, all right, of the gods of the earth, which that blessing was given once again to the children of Israel, all right, pursuant to Psalms 82nd chapter, the 6th verse. It says, "What I have said, ye are gods, and all of you are the children of the Most High." All right, it's also written in Deuteronomy 7 verse 6. Let's get that real quick. So oldie but goodie. It says, "For thou art a holy people unto the Lord thy power. The Lord thy power has chosen thee to be a special people unto himself above all people that are upon the face of the earth." Okay, so once again, this is Yahawah, Bahashem Yahawashi, speaking to the children of Israel, that they will be a special people unto himself above all people that are upon the face of the earth, which is, a straight cut to that, false doctrine of Christianity that, God loves everybody, and everybody, has a chance to be, kings in the kingdom, all right, of heaven when YAHAWASHI returns. No, or it's only going to be the Israelites, and chiefly starting with the first fruits of the nation of Israel. All right, starting with the men, 144,000 men, okay, that follow the Lamb whithersoever he goeth. All right, that was preordained, predestined from the foundation of the earth. All right, but without further ado, seeing what is happening here, we can see clearly that this devil has an agenda, and he's moving very, very quickly to try to accomplish that agenda. And ultimately it's because he sees that his end is near. All right, he sees that the elect is waking up. Okay, he sees that this word, this truth has gone throughout the four corners of the earth. He has been exposed as being the devil, all right, the wicked that the Bible speaks of. All right, his kingdom is faulty. It's wanting. All right, what's that? Many Uharson tickle. All right, or many tickle Uharson. All right, his kingdom is. Let me get that real quick. Salaki. Let's pull that up real quick. Is that Daniel, the 5th chapter, if I'm not mistaken? Yeah, here we go. Daniel chapter 5 verse 24. Okay, and Esau sees the handwriting on the wall, and that's where that phrase comes from. This story that happened to Belshazzar, all right, which was the I believe it was the grandson, or I believe it was the grandson, if I'm not mistaken, the grandson of Nebuchadnezzar. Okay, but right here it says, Daniel chapter 5 verse 24 says, then was the part of the hand sent from him, and his writing was written, and this writing was written, and this was the writing that was written, many tickle Upharsin. All right, Upharsin says, this is the interpretation of the thing. Many, God power has numbered thy kingdom and finished it. And that is the main part right there, that the Most High has numbered Esau's kingdom and finished it. It's over. There's a scripture in the book of Job that tells you that he cannot go past the bounds that the Lord has set. All right, and the Most High has set, fully in his mind, right, and he is going to accomplish all that he desires to accomplish. And what is written is that Esau's kingdom will come to an end. His rulership will come to an end, and we are witnessing the end of Esau's rulership, and Esau is witnessing that as well, which is why in the book of Isaiah, the 47th chapter, it tells you, let's go to that real quick. It tells you that he's going to try to stand with his enchantments, all right, and his sorceries. All right, this is the book of Isaiah 47 verse 10. It says, I'm going to start at 9. It says, but these two things shall come to thee in a moment, in one day, the loss of children and widowhood. And that's ultimately going to come, fully when America gets, completely destroyed by way of the World War III, of the nuclear missiles, and the return of YAHAWASHI with the angels, which the angels is going to, do the cleanup shop of Babylon, completely, utterly decimated from the east coast to the west coast. It says, they shall come upon thee in their perfection, for the multitude of thy sorceries, and for great abundance of thy enchantments. So the destruction that is going to come to Esau in one day is going to come in their perfection. All right, specifically here in Babylon the Great, the destruction is going to be perfected here. All right, because of the multitude of thy sorceries and the great abundance of thine enchantments, for thou hast trusted in wickedness. And ever since the inception of America, all right, the beast system in totality, it's been nothing, perpetuating nothing but wickedness. And we're seeing this whole push for this, this juice is, is going down that same path of wickedness that Esau, promotes and trusts in. All right, it says, thou hast said, none seeth me. And that's what these devils, think, because they do their witchcraft and their wizardry, all right, and their through their backdoor closet talks, whether it be, the Davos meetings or the Bilderberg meetings, so on and so forth. They think that nobody sees them. All right, they think that the God of Jacob has not regarded it, but your pride of your heart has deceived you, you devils, man. All right, it says, thy wisdom and thy knowledge, it has perverted thee. See, because the Most High has given you, the rulership of the earth right now, has given you the ability to, have this heightened empire, by way of the technology that he has, really given you. It has perverted you. You didn't use the knowledge that the Most High has given you for righteousness. You used it for wickedness. You used it to rape, rob, and pillage, and steal and gain riches, through the dominance of your military, of the sword, and through the knowledge that the Most High has given you. All right, because the scriptures does say in the book of Daniel that the book of Ezekiel, I believe, says thou art wiser than Daniel. Okay, but that wisdom that you have used really is left-handed wisdom. All right, it's not righteous wisdom. But even though the scriptures tells you that when you go into the word demon, it's actually means intelligence. Okay, demons on the left-hand side also do have intelligence. They just use that intelligence, is left-handed power, left-handed, sorcery. And that's the intelligence, that's the wisdom that Esau draws his power from. That's why in the book of 2 Thessalonians, the 2nd chapter, it says, he that cometh, let's pull it up, 2 Thessalonians 2, 2 Thessalonians chapter 2, verse 9, it says, even him whose coming is after the working of Satan, with all power, signs, and lying wonder. When you go into that word working, this energia, which basically means this energy, right? His working, his efficiency is after the way he's effective, right? The way he works is after the coming of Satan, all right? It's after the energy of Satan. So even though Esau does have, power and wisdom, it's left-handed, wisdom. All right, it says, he has perverted thee, thou hast said in thine heart, I am, and none else beside me. And that's what Esau is ultimately trying to achieve. He's trying to achieve being God. Okay, going back to 2 Thessalonians, it says it right here. Verse 4 says, who opposeth and exalteth himself above all that is called God, or that is worshipped, so that he as God power sitteth in a temple of power. All right, which the people, Israel, is a people before it's a place, right? So Esau sits on the people of God, all right, and he also sits in a place where the Most High has given unto the people of God, which is what? Israel, all right, specifically, and then the capital of Israel, which is Jerusalem. So it says, showing himself that he is power, and that's ultimately what Esau is trying to accomplish at this point, in time, is trying to solidify himself as being a god. Okay, but as you read down, it says the Lord said what? That he will only now will he only now who now letteth will let until he be taken out of the way. And Esau is about to be taken out of the way. Okay, and that's why he's coming down with this wrath, because he knows he has but a short time. So let's finish this in Isaiah. It says, therefore shall evil come upon thee. Thou shalt not know from whence it risen. And that's why you got Satan house divided. You got people all throughout Babylon, all throughout the world, just uproars of the people. Okay, this whole thing is just unraveling, man. This whole age is just coming apart, which the Lord said was going to happen in these last days. The uproars of the people. It says, and mischief shall fall upon thee, and thou shalt not be able to put it off. So you're not going to be able to put it off, man. You're not going to be able to just slide talk your way out of this. You're not going to be able to just keep using sorcery and your trickery, your deceit to slither your way out of you being exposed and shamed. All right, your shameful spewing shall be in your glory, and that's only just the iceberg. I mean, so like the tip of the iceberg of the hell that you're about to go through, man, and your kingdom is about to go through. It says, and desolation shall come upon thee suddenly, which thou shalt not know. Stand now with thine enchantments and with the multitude of thy sorceries, wherein thou hast labored from thy youth. If so be thou shalt be able to profit, if so be thou mayest prevail. So that's like basically a taunt, Isaiah, through the spirit of YAHAWASHI is basically taunting Babylon the Great. When you go right here, the virgin daughter of Babylon. All right, this is speaking about America. Stand with your enchantment. See if that's still going to help you. And guess what? Esau is 100% trying to stand with these enchantments. All right, why do you think he's making this push so hard, man? Because this is what he has labored in from his youth. From the inception of, especially here in Babylon. All of the so-called founding forefathers of America were Freemasons, man. All right, they were into witchcraft. They were, the Bohemian Grove. All right, was that Ellis Island? Forgot what was it called? Something Island. I forgot what it was called. Where basically the Federal Reserve was founded. All right, not Ellis Island. Yeah, but you know what I'm talking about. All these things that Esau has labored from his youth. That's what he has to stay with because he doesn't have anything else. But now he's seeing that sorcery that he was using before wasn't working. I mean, it's not working now. All right, the trickery, the deceit, the cunning arts is not working now, and that's why he's coming out so aggressively, so vulgarly, so bluntly with his agenda because he can't do the trickery. Now he has to go back to what he was blessed with from the beginning, which is what? That sword. And that's why that ties into, they should be like madmen, sparing none, but still spoiling and destroying those that fear the Lord. And also, which I mentioned earlier, Revelation 12:12, behold, the devil shall come down upon you with great wrath because he knows he has but a short time. All right. Because his sorceries and his enchantments is not working, he has to now come down with his wrath because he knows that since that's not working and the elect, the house of David, is being risen up, he has a short time to rule. So it says, thou art wearied in the multitude of thy counsels. All right, y'all getting tired out, trying to continuously, come up with schemes and ways to try to deceive, the people, but specifically the elect. But Yahawashi said it, if it were possible, you would be able to deceive the elect, but it's not possible. Okay, it's not going to be possible. So he says, you are wearied in the multitude of thy counsels. Let now the astrologers and the stargazers, the monthly prognosticators, stand up and save thee from these things that shall come upon thee. All right, but they're not going to be able to. Okay, it's not going to be able to. It says, behold, they shall be as stubble in fire, and the fire shall burn them. They shall not deliver themselves from the power of the flame. And that's ultimately what's coming to you, devils, man, to your kingdom. All right, is complete burning fire, destruction. All right, and then the ones of you that escape, that is you gonna be the first fruits of captivity. It says, there shall not be a coal to warm at, nor a fire to sit before. So Salakia, for starting that off with that. But that was a good, good scriptures to go into. So let's play this real quick.
Hi everyone, Lisa Haven here. Well, for years, you and I...
That's the spirit, because even I just watched this earlier. I just peeped right now. The what?
Hi everyone.
See that? That's the spirit right there, man. That fire that's going to consume the daughter, the whore. All right, that sit up upon the beast, which that woman could represent the whore. All right, and then you got in the background. What you got in the background, the American flag, the Babylonian daughter of Babylon flag. Okay, and what just consumed them? That fire. And we just read what? That the fire shall burn them, and they shall not be able to deliver themselves from the power of the flame. All right, so call YAHAWASHI for that, that spiritual insight right there.
years, you and I have heard talk about the New World Order and the formation of a New World Order. In fact, many of our prior leaders and presidents have called this by name.
The affirmative task we have now is to actually create a new world order.
I think its task will be to develop an overall strategy for America in this period when really a new world order can be created. It's a great opportunity. It isn't just a crisis.
Folks, there is a new world order that's being created.
Out of these troubled times, our fifth objective, a new world order, can emerge.
Have before us the opportunity to forge for ourselves and for future generations a new world order, a world where the rule of law, not the law of the jungle, governs the conduct of nations.
We seek to establish a new world order. Why then are we using tools from the old Cold War order?
We meet here at a moment of testing for Europe and the United States, and for the international order that we have worked for generations to build.
There you have it. But the bottom line is the creation of some kind of global network, if you will, where they can spout rules and regulations and laws over country for the betterment of the global whole. In other words, countries are losing their freedoms in mass as a result of some of these organizations. You know, like the World Health Organization, who, when COVID-19 happened, gave out their command, or AKA recommendation, and told countries that they should lock down. Well, what happened in the country of Australia is a newscaster has just come out and made a real bizarre statement about this NWO. Take a listen.
Today is the first full day of the New World Order. Outdoor gatherings are limited to 2 people. Exercise is allowed, but no further than a 10-kilometre radius from your home. Browsing in shops is not permitted. Only 1 person per household may leave to do essential shopping. And from tomorrow, funerals are limited to 10 people.
This newscaster felt so compelled with what was happening with regards to the lockdowns in his own country that he felt compelled to warn the world that he feels as if a new regime has taken over. And I can't help but shake this eerie feeling here in the United States of America. Something similar is happening. Many of our freedoms have been ripped out in front of our faces, and we are losing the very sight of what America once stood for, and that is freedom, prosperity, and capitalism, and these things. However,
you see, hey, and a lot of these Edomites, man, you know, they're going to be up in arms, man. All right, the scripture tells you in the book of 2nd Ezra, let's get that real quick. 2nd Ezra chapter 15. 2nd Ezra chapter 15, verse 14, it says, "Woe to the world and them that dwell therein, for the sword and their destruction draweth nigh, and one people shall stand up and fight against another, and swords in their hands." So you're going to have the juiced versus the non-juiced, the left versus the right, all right, the Democrats versus the Republicans, all right, to Jacob versus Esau, these heathens, you know, caught in between, all right. Isaiah 19 said, "Well, Egyptian shall fight against Egyptian," okay, and everybody's set on edge right now. Everybody's upset. Everybody wants to blame everybody else for what's going on, but really, you know, it's the spirit of the Lord having this happen, working in this wicked ass world, because everything is about to be taken out of the place, man, taken out of the way. Or verse 16, it says, "And there should be sedition among men, and invading one another. They shall not regard their kings nor princes, and the course of their actions shall stand in their power." All right, they're not going to regard their kings and princes, and even though that whole thing on June 6th was was a soap opera. But that right there, you got people that was probably there that was legit, you know, had that feeling of wanting to, you know, overthrow the government or the Congress people at that point. Okay, you just had in Texas, that you had a whole bunch of Democrats just, you know, left Texas, and then now there's a warrant out for their arrest. You know, Democrat legislative people, you know, that left to basically block voting. I believe it was block a voting bill over there in Texas. All right, and you got a lot of people that are like this woman right here that feels as if their beloved Babylon is not what it was once supposed to stand for. Their kingdom. See, this is their kingdom. All right, this is her kingdom. She's speaking from her heart. You know, when she talks about what America once stood for, that's not what it is anymore. Let's run that back real quick.
But shake this eerie feeling. Here in the United States of America, something similar is happening. Many of our freedoms have been ripped out in front of our faces, and we are losing the very sight of what America once stood for, and that is freedom, prosperity, and capitalism, and these things. However,
okay, and going back to Isaiah, right? Going back to Isaiah 47 verse 1, come down and sit in the dust, O virgin daughter of Babylon. Sit on the ground, there is no throne, O daughter of the Chaldeans, for thou shalt no more be called tender and delicate. All right, what she just said, all those things that she was, all those adjectives that she used were things that were tender and delicate and luxurious. All right, about America. All right, their kingdom. But this is a Edomite woman. Based off of how she looks, right? Based off how she looks, she's an Edomite woman. So this is the best epitome of her kingdom. But she can't even recognize what a Babylon America has become now. Why? Because there is no throne anymore. It's not a good place for Babylonians here in America. All right, you had that guy Christopher Green, AMTV News. He moved. He jetted out to Hawaii. He used to live in Arizona, but he don't even live in Arizona no more. He went out of the continental states because he said basically that he wanted to protect his family and go somewhere where he can feel that it's going to be a little safer when all hell breaks loose. So these are Edomites that have this mindset, this notion, and you know this place is through. Okay, you know this place is through. So I'm not going to play the rest. All right, if you want to go check it out, like I said, her name is Lisa Haven. If you want to see the rest of the clip, I just want to play that first part where you see about all these different presidents and people that are in these puppets that are in these positions of authority. They all were speaking about one common theme. Even you simple as Jake's beloved Barack Obama, all right, that Hamite, he had the same theme as well. All right, because these people, they are put in these places, and that same theme is what the NWO, that agenda of these elites, man. Okay, so now real quick here, this is coming from naturalnews.com. It says New Zealand promises to hunt people down for not submitting to COVID, to Crown Royale juicing. So I'm just going to play this real quick because this is basically speaking about what he basically says right here. So I'm just going to play this. You're going to hear what he says.
I think early next year we'll be in the phase of chasing up people who haven't come forward to get their vaccination or have missed their bookings and so on. So everyone will be able to get a vaccine between now and the end of the year. But of course, and I want every New Zealander to come forward, but human behaviour suggests that there will be some people that we have to actually really go out and look for, and some of that may spill into next year. But our commitment is everyone will have the opportunity to get the vaccine by the end of the year. Everyone will, but I can't say that, that we're not going to have some hesitant people or some people who just haven't come forward that we don't have to go out and find next year.
So you just heard it from straight from the pig's mouth, man. He said what? That we're going to have to go out and hunt people. Okay, so let's read it real quick. It says governments around the world are getting ready to hunt people down if they do not submit to the Crown Royale juice in the upcoming booster shots. New Zealand's Minister for Crown Royale response, Chris Hipkins, is openly saying it now. The government will go out and find you if you haven't come forward. In the interview, he said everyone will get the shots, even if the government has to chase people down. Okay, chase people down. So why do you think, and I believe the video I did yesterday, New Zealand, if I'm not mistaken, was one of the countries that they basically said that they have internment camps for unjuiced people. All right, that's what this thing's coming down to. All right, that's why the scriptures, Yahawashi warned us about, let me get it real quick. Revelation 2 verse 9. It says, here we go. Revelation chapter 2 verse 9, it says, verse 10, Salakia, fear none of those things which thou shalt suffer. Behold, the devil shall cast some of you into prison. Now, the prison that this devil is going to cast us in, all right, which we have been prophesying, through the Spirit, starting with the elders on down, was what? Those FEMA camps, those internment camps, all right? And now it's coming to fruition. It says that ye may be tried, ye shall have tribulation 10 days, be thou faithful unto death, and I will give thee a crown of life. Because you're going to have a lot of people, that's going to be, there are a lot of people, I should say, that are not willing to just bow to the beast, all right? To bow the knee to Baal, and especially the elect, okay? You're going to have, what Esau is trying to accomplish is everybody be under the guide and rule and in obedience to this new, one world order. Okay, but the elect are 100% not going to do that. You got other people that are trying to fight back, but when the pressure, when the pressure gets going and going gets tough, we're going to see, how many people really, of these Edomites and these Jakes that don't believe in Yahawashi, but say that, I'm not getting no charagma, this and that. We're going to see once that tribulation really comes down, if you really got it, because as Yahawashi said in the next chapter, he said, I will keep you from the hour of temptation. But all in all, you see how they're setting up this narrative to what? Chase people down, okay? It says, if you refuse to take part of the Crown Royale juice, the government of New Zealand will go out and look for you to ensure your compliance. Will the unjuiced be rounded up and put in camps? Patterns from the darkest times of the history continue to unravel before your very eyes, and they are chilling. All right, and this is what the guy says. The New Zealand minister began, I think early next year we will be in a phase of chasing after people who have not come forward to get their juice or have missed their bookings and so on. All right, so as time progresses, things are not going back to what you remember as being normal. Why you think they was dumbing this thing from the beginning, the new normal, okay? Why do you think they have been pushing out this propaganda, pushing out this fear mongering, so on and so forth? Because they have that agenda that they're trying to accomplish, all right? And they are really the people who are talking are the spokesmen for the wicked rulers of the darkness of this world, who really, all right, going back to what Aaron Russo said about Nick Rockefeller, who their real ultimate end game agenda is to what? That charagma, which goes back to the scriptures, man. They can't maneuver or do anything outside of what they were preordained to do. These devils, all right, Esau, Edom was preordained to have this charagma come out, and that no man may buy or sell save he that has the charagma, all right, the mark. And that's where all this is leading up into, man. And if you can't see that, if you are being, if you're blinded or in that darkness where you can't see it, then hey, but the Lord still, the doors of mercy are still open, but they are closing very quickly, because as we go to this next article, you have Biden came out and basically said he's about to start, teaming up with other administrations and things of that nature to start Salaki, I'm trying to find out where it was at. To start monitoring people's text messages. Where is it? Here we go. So this is from Politico. It says Biden allied groups, including the Democratic National Committee, are also planning to engage fact checkers more aggressively and work with SMS, which is your messaging, right? Your text messaging, your iPhone, iMessaging. It says carriers to dispel misinformation about juices that is sent over social media and text messages. The goal is to ensure that people who may have the difficulty getting the juice because of issues like transportation, see those barriers lessened or removed entirely. Okay, so now they're about to start coming after your text messages and monitoring your text messages, what you're saying to your families or your close friends or whatever. And if it goes against their agenda, if it goes against what they are pushing out, it's going to be flagged. So before it was on social media, you know, your Instagram, your Facebooks, your YouTube, where you see now that they were, you know, flagging everything for misinformation, or they put those little context, you know, things underneath your videos, or, you know, or they attach something to your comment if you put it on Facebook. But now your own personal text messages are about to start being flagged. Okay, this all is a part of this agenda where all these end time prophecies has to come to pass. So the end time prophecy about, you know, the famine of the word happening. This is what the majority of the prophets are prophesying about right now, because this is very, you know, we're in the smack dab middle of all these things that Esau is doing with this whole you know, agenda with this pandemic. So we now are not going to be able to even send text messages or group me's or whatever about it. What's that? What is that going to lead them to? That's going to lead into us ultimately not being able to teach the word. Okay, which that is a prophecy that must come to pass as well. You see, which is why we're telling you, while there still may be time, seek the Lord, man. Repent, turn to YAHAWASHI, because you do not have that much time left. All right, there is not a lot of time left, and as the scripture says, our salvation is closer than when we believe. So if you're not on the path of salvation, then that means your destruction is closer than when you believed. Okay, because with salvation comes destruction. So if you're not on the path of making your call and election sure, then your destruction is closer than when you think, man. As the scripture says here in let's get that real quick, in the book of Sirach or Ecclesiasticus, chapter 5, it says this. Ecclesiasticus 5 verse 7. It says, "Make no tarrying to turn to the Lord, and put not off from day to day." Meaning what? Not being lackadaisical, not thinking that, oh, I got time. No. The things are happening fast, man. All right? Things are moving fast. The question is, can you keep up with the pace? Can you keep the pace with how the fast the Lord is moving? Because the Lord said he's going to shorten the days for the elect's sake. All right. So it says, "For suddenly shall the wrath of the Lord come forth." That's what? That thief in the knife. That thief in the night. That's the wrath of Yahweh, which he's going to use this devil as his sword to bring down this wrath. It says, "In thy security thou shalt be destroyed, and perish in the day of vengeance." So when you think everything is okay, when you think, you know, everything's all good, that's when you're going to be destroyed. All right, even if you try to consent unto this devil to try to escape, you try to escape the destruction by consenting, right? When you have wicked Israelites that have that mindset, as it says in 2nd Ezra, they that consent unto him shall be had in derision and be trodden underfoot. Because the Lord is making the only way to be delivered is through him, through his son Yahawashi. That's what all this is leading up into. If you don't got Yahawashi on your side, you will not be delivered. That's what the Lord is bringing all this pressure from every single avenue, you know, down to show Israel that you need him. Okay, and without him, you have no deliverance, you have no secure, you have no aid. All right, so you know, that's that last one, and this is the last one I have. It says, CNN medical expert says life needs to be hard for the unjuiced. All right, this is a medical expert, this Moabite demon. Okay, she came out and said this. It says, "For those who have not yet chosen to line up like cattle and take the juice, life should be hard." That's according to CNN's medical expert who wants everyone injected. "We know that the gloves are now off when it comes to the pressure to get this juice." CNN medical contributor Dr. Leanna Wynn suggested Saturday that life needs to be hard for Americans who have not received the Crown Royal juice, and individuals who refuse to get shots should perhaps face weekly testing. So sticking that shit up your nose weekly, she's saying, well, if you don't want to get the juice, then you should have to get tested weekly. Weekly testings with the 100% inaccurate with 100% inaccurate PCR test for refusing to take the juice. It says, we saw this coming. In October of 2020, which I remember her saying this, the medical journal said that those who refuse to take the shot should be punished harshly. It says, it will ramp up until they can convince the remaining half of Americans to take the shot. It needs to be hard for people to remain unjuiced when the former, and this is where you can see that this is exclusively, even though it's coming down upon the whole world, but you Israelites are a prime target for who they want to get this juice. Why? Because this woman, when the former Planned Parenthood president said, so she was a former Planned Parenthood president, and when you know the inception, Margaret Sanger, what Planned Parenthood was all about, man, it was all about sterilizing, Israelite women, okay, and bringing a population of specifically Judites down in America, which is why all the Planned Parenthoods are, in neighborhoods where it's a very large population of Israelites. Okay, starting with the so-called Negroes or so-called African Americans, but also you Latinos and Native American as well. So you got this woman that was a former president of this Planned Parenthood giving her suggestion that that America or the government should make it incredibly hard for people who don't have the juice. Straight wickedness, man. But once again, we're not ignorant of Satan's devices. It says, right now it's kind of the opposite. Unjuiced people, she freighted, can at the moment go about their lives as normal without any consequences. So she wants consequences for people who have not been juiced. All right, and that's basically the point of, the point of this article right here. She and she's on it regularly, spewing, her rhetoric, in favor of the elitist, programs, man. Okay, but all in all, we know what is this leading to. So let me get a couple scriptures and I'll close it out. Psalm 64 verse 2, it says, hide me from the secret counsel of the wicked, from the insurrection of the workers of iniquity. Okay, the workers of iniquity, starting with Esau, Edom, and his messengers. All right, his demons that are his cohorts that are working with him. Okay, to try to continue this this beast infrastructure. It says, who whet their tongue like a sword and bend their bows to shoot their arrows, even bitter words. And this is what this devil is using right now, bitter words, man. All these different, articles and the pressure and the draconian measures that this devil is using is bitter words. That's why in the book of Revelation it said what? Revelation 13th chapter. Verse 11 says, and I beheld another beast coming out of the earth. He had two horns like a lamb, and he spake as a dragon. Okay, the bitter words. He spake as a dragon. With his words, you go into that word dragon, which goes into Draco, which is the draconian law. All right, during I believe I think he said he was an Athens lawgiver or something to that effect. But ultimately, those bitter words that these people are using are going to turn into actual action. Okay, see, they're saying these words, but they're basically having a tongue fall upon themselves, and really for the elect to see what is about to go down. All right, what this devil is about to actually implement on the earth. So going back there, it says, who whet their, as I read that they may shoot in secret at the perfect. And who's that? The Israelites. Suddenly do they shoot at him and fear not. They encourage themselves in an evil matter. All right, an evil matter. They commune of laying snares privily. And this is all snares being laid privily, man. From the NWO to the mandatory juicing to these, internment camps. All these are snares being laid privily because they want everybody to be compliant. And the ones who are not compliant, they want to try to take you out, man. And that's why the Lord told us what? That fear none of those things which you shall suffer. Some of us are going to be thrown into prison. Some of us are going to be, arrested as Yahawashi said, what, for a testimony against them and against the kings and the Gentiles. Some of us are going to be die for a testimony, being martyrs. There's some of us is going to get thrown, and tried, but so that the Lord can use us as being vessels to show his power. Isaiah 59th chapter, that standard being set up. But ultimately, all these things have to, in order for all those things to happen, this devil has to come down with the wrath. All right, it says, and they say, who shall see them? All right, and they thinking that they're just getting away with this, but ultimately, Yahawah, Ba'ashem Yahawashi sees you, and then he gives us the vision, the eye salve, to see you as well, and to call it out, all right, to expose you, which is why, soon enough, us speaking is going to be prohibited as well. Okay, this is Psalms 37, verse 12. It says, the wicked plotteth against the just, all right, and gnasheth him with his teeth. The Lord shall laugh at him, for he seeth that his day is coming. All right, and Esau's day is coming. And the Lord, through the Lord is using us to laugh at this devil, man, because all this information that's coming out and this devil doing all these things, we want you to do this, man. We actually need you to go with your agenda, so that the Lord can do what he's going to do and show his power and destroy you, man. All right, this don't fear us. This don't put no type of fear in us. As the scripture says, the Most High has not given us a spirit of fear. All right, so this don't put no fear in us, and we encourage you to continue to bring your draconian measures down, ultimately going down to that charagma, because what, we see your day coming. You thinking that you're about to achieve some heightened level of a superiority, but really, as soon as you are about to fill your belly, you're going to be strike through. You're going to be destroyed. And we're telling you this, and yet your dumb ass is still going to try to do it. That's how deceived you are, man. That's how much you are puffed up. Just like with Pharaoh, the Lord is hardening you so much that you are hearing the words being spoken against you. You are seeing the plagues like how Pharaoh saw the plagues, and yet you will still continue to bring your wickedness and your wrath, against the Lord's elect. So we see ultimately what's about to happen to you. Same thing that happened to Pharaoh, but on a greater and larger and more destructive scale, man. That's the same thing that's going to happen to you devils. All right, so let's get one last one. We'll close it out. This is the book of Psalms 59, verse 7. It says, behold, they belch out with their mouth. Swords are in their lips. And we know who was blessed with the sword. Esau, Edom. It says, for who, they say, doeth here. So them doing their enchantments, their sorceries, them thinking that their plan is moving along. They said, who's going to hear it? Who's going to stop us? But thou, O Lord, shall laugh at them. Thou shalt have all the heathen in derision. Okay, so all you heathens, from Esau to you Moabites, to you Hamites, to you Israelites that are in heathenistic state of mind, that are joining league with this devil, y'all all going to be had in derision, man. And then that righteous man is going to stand boldly. Then shall the chosen be known. Okay, but I'll end that there, Lord willing. This was edifying unto the elect. Once again, giving all praises, honor, and glory to Yahawah, Ba'ashem Yahawashi, Ba'ashem Rakakwadash. Until next time, Shalom.